week we have been talking about sex. I'm Michelle Beckett from ADHD Unlocked, and I'm joined by Stephanie Camilleri, also from ADHD Unlocked. And this week in our members community, as I've said, we've been talking about the very difficult topic of sex and ADHD. We've done a lot of work this week. We had a Monday webinar, we had a Wednesday meetup, we've done all sorts of other stuff this week, and we've realized that sex is a bigger problem than we thought, because on the face of it, sex can be good for us with ADHD because we are quite novelty seeking, we tend to be quite physically demonstrative, we tend to not fit with society's norms, and we tend to be a little bit cheeky, a little bit naughty, a little bit thrill seeking. So sex can be a lot better when we have ADHD. However, there's a lot of areas where our ADHD encroaches. And this week, we've realized through a survey and all of the work that we've been doing with our members in the ADHD Unlocked members community, that there's 5 top issues, isn't there, Steph? We're going to go through them today for you just for a few minutes so you can just have a think about them. Now, number 1, mind wandering. This is very common, isn't it, Steph?
Yes. Because of that, we're very distracted. We get very distracted, and it's definitely a problem.
So that's mind wandering during sex. Now, I was asked this during my assessment 4 years ago when I got diagnosed age 44. Does your mind wander during sex? And I'm thinking, my mind wanders all the time in every situation. So this is just normal for me. But I suppose it's quite normal for us with ADHD if we're not properly focused and intentional about having sex with a partner, that we can be maybe thinking about having left the washing in the machine, or that we haven't planted those bulbs, or thinking about, what radioactive substance they used to use in clocks many, many years ago, and other such random things that may come to mind. But this can cause a problem because it can actually mean you have delayed orgasm, can actually mean you have problems orgasming at all if your mind wanders, and it can cause all sorts of issues with your partner. They maybe feel rejected if they feel like you're not present with them.
That's a big one.
So what can we do, Steph, about this particular problem, which is number 1, which is mind wandering? Could we maybe make sex more intentional, maybe communicate that our mind may wander a little bit with our partner, maybe make sex a bit more interesting and make yourself a bit more relaxed? What can we do to kind of minimize this?
Yeah, well, again, firstly, just prefacing, we're not sex therapists or anything like that, just talking purely from, I guess, personal experience, as well as clients that I coach, what tends to help. But I made an analogy, I guess, I drew a comparison with, I guess, how it usually is for us when we're trying to, when we have to focus on something, maybe even just kind of work, for instance. We really need to kind of set up our environment. We do need to set intention. That can kind of really help for us to get in that kind of headspace, but definitely the environment. So if you're going out for dinner, keeping things a little bit more interesting, because I guess being present is really difficult for us to be present in the present with all our present, which is what sex requires. It's not easy for a lot of us that do have our minds just going all over the place.
So we need to set ourselves up for sex success, which is a little bit of a tongue twister. So mind wandering is common. So forgive yourself for that. Explain to your partner, realize this is going to be an issue and how you can minimize it. And often we tend to have sex in the evenings when, if we're on medication that helps with that, it's worn off. So maybe think about time of day that you could have sex as well, which may help. But sometimes we're not in the mood to have sex with our partner because our ADHD means that we have relationship problems. They've maybe annoyed us, maybe not been understanding enough about our ADHD challenges. They may be frustrated with us, and your relationship's not close emotionally. So that can mean we kind of feel a bit resentful, and that having sex with somebody when you resent them is pretty difficult.
That's it. And I guess the other problem is, because us ADHD is, we're very much in our head, a lot of us, not very much in our body. But I've heard that, if there are those kind of relationship issues, the partner kind of physically feels that they can't actually engage. It's in the body, because I guess that's, the feelings, they can manifest, right, in the body, and definitely the case with this type of thing.
Yeah, so we feel our emotions with our body more often than not.
Mm-hmm.
And that can also mean we can be quite hypersensitive during sex, and touch can be a little bit too much for us. So as we've said, we're not sex therapists, so it might be worth seeking help from a GP specialist or a sex therapist or relationship counselor if you're experiencing any of these problems, because it might be to do with hormones as well, which might make all the difference. It might be if you're on an SSRI medication, and that's a physical impact. So if you're on an antidepressant, it might mean that it's even harder to have an orgasm. So it's even harder to get aroused, added on to our ADHD challenges. So it's worth looking at that physical lens, as well as the emotional physicality that we have when we're like, oh, we're feeling this, but looking at wider physicality to do with sex as well, which can have an impact.
Yeah, because we tend to, I was going to say tolerations that we talk about in the group all the time. It is things to do with our kind of physical health. We tend to just keep pushing through. And so, yeah, this is definitely another one of those tolerations that could really make a difference if you do address it and prioritize that kind of self-care and your own health.
Yes. So when we talk about tolerations, we mean things that we've put off doing that we know we need to do. So maybe you need to make that point with your GP if your hormones, or you've been having this problem, or, you've been feeling tired all the time, but you're like, oh, I'll ring the GP. And I know what that's like. You kind of put that off, until the last minute. So we've got mind wandering. We've got our relationships not being quite right. And communicating how you want sex to be and your sexual needs can be quite difficult because we feel a bit awkward. So it's worth looking at that through the ADHD lens as well, as to how you can communicate your needs comfortably to your partner, what kind of space and setting you need to do that. Maybe even it's something simple, like you get one of those novelty checkbooks that you write your needs in, and you kind of tear them off and go, I owe you a back massage, or I owe you this. That might be like a fun novelty way of expressing your needs. So there's little things that we can do to do that. And talking of novelty, that's another issue. We tend to seek novelty. We tend to get bored. We might tend to, look at the same positions over and over again. And get into a rut, because that's what we do with ADHD, and we find it hard to transition and hard to shift ourselves out of patterns sometimes. So it's worth giving sex a bit of focus and seeing how you can add a bit of novelty in, so that you maybe don't seek novelty outside of the relationship, which can be pretty common as well.
A few of our members had some really good tips around this during the meetup last Wednesday night. And one of our members was saying that actually when they're reading racy novels, their sex life tends to be a lot better, because again, with us ADHDers, insight in mind versus outside out of mind. And so again, setting yourself up for success. If you do want to kind of be engaging in sex or need more of it with your partner, then read the books, put some music on, get motivated.
What makes you feel sexy? Is it having a bath, dressing up, watching something, reading something that's going to make you more aroused to set that up for success? So we've covered a lot of issues here. So we've got mind wandering is one of the top issues that we uncovered. Relationship challenges in general, meaning that we're less inclined to have sex with our partners. Novelty seeking, which can be a problem, which can mean a lot of ADHDers have porn addictions as well. So we urge you to seek help for that completely separately. And then communicating your needs and setting boundaries is a huge area. Yeah. And then those transitions between putting the washing in, doing work, and then feeling sexy. So these are the top 5 areas, and there's lots we can do about that. And if we look through the ADHD lens at how we can address these and communicate those needs through the ADHD lens to our partners or any new partners, or if you're on your own, how that's making you feel about yourself and your self-esteem, then we can go pretty far. So, but we've covered an awful lot more of these tips. We've got a whole webinar, loads of resources, emails within our members portal for ADHD Unlocked with a big presentation. We've had a meetup this week, a Smash It session. So our members are getting an awful lot out of joining ADHD Unlocked. So please do join us. We're growing from strength to strength. We've been doing these live broadcasts now for nearly a year, and the community, I know. It's incredible. So we'd love you to join. So you can find out more about joining ADHD Unlocked and what we're all about. Go to adhdunlocked.co.uk, or consider following this page if this is the first time you've seen this live broadcast, so that you get our updates. But you can sign up for our email on the website, adhdunlocked.co.uk, for our updates, so you can find out what events we've got going on and be more a part of this community, because this week has been a difficult week for us discussing sex. It's a taboo subject, but there's some tips and hints, and in the meeting, you know, some transformational stuff, which is really with relationships.
That's the beauty of the community, in that, you know, when you're doing it, and I said this last time, I'm not going to say it again and put my foot in it, but you kind of got more courage to express and explore your own feelings around all these issues when in the context of the community, and hearing other people, other ADHDers that get it or that have similar challenges sharing as well. So I think a lot of the transformation lies in the context of the community. So, and also kind of keeping all these things in sight and in mind. You know, us ADHDers, we're so busy. We don't really give these issues the attention they deserve. And ADHD Unlocked, it applies equally to us as well, Mish. Every week when we do these topics, they're very much in sight and in mind. And then we do something about them. So
exactly. And our members have said, you know, their lives have changed through being a member of our community. So go to adhdunlocked.co.uk. I'm Michelle, and this is Steph. And next week we are doing people pleasing.
Yes,
this is a huge topic. So join us in time for people pleasing next week, where we'll be doing a Monday webinar at 12:30. But find out more at adhdunlocked.co.uk. And have a good weekend. And I'm going to do a little wink because of the topic that we've been doing. So give some focus to the topic of the week and have a good one. So thank you for joining us for our live. Take care, everyone.
See you later.
Bye-bye.